he's joining us from Theo University.
Yes.
And he's going to talk to us about this issue of internationalizing or just going through the motions of internationalization, I think, and that giving us the results of his interaction and discussions with students. So please welcome Theo.
Thank you very much. And I'm not sure what this. Oh, this is next slide, right? Next. So we start with this. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. So hello. My name is Theo. I'm from Lakeland University, where I'm doing my PhD thesis on the internationalization of higher education in Japan. So briefly about my research, I'm collecting narratives that contain a few case study institutions in Japan about the meanings and purposes of internationalization and different views about what are the issues when universities try to internationalize. And in particular, I've been focusing on these not called global universities, but let's say the average Japanese, typical conservative second-tier university. So, okay, so going forward, let's talk briefly about internationalization. So we already had the definition about internationalization in the previous slide. So J9 defines it as a process of integrating the international, intercultural, or global dimension into the purpose, functions, and delivery of post-secondary education. And the same author differentiates between internationalization at home, which is related to internationalization of the curriculum and of the campus environment as a whole, and internationalization abroad, which is related to the mobility of people, programs, providers across national borders. Okay, so both in the EU and in the US, the focus is on integration. So integration of this international intercultural dimensions into all pillars of the university. So ranging from administration, curriculum, learning outcomes, faculty, student body, collaboration, partnerships, and this along with an articulated institutional commitment from the leadership of the university. Right? Okay, however, internationalization is not only contained within and between universities, it is also an eduscape. So Kumari Beck defines eduscape as the flow of educational theories, ideas, programs, and activities in and across national boundaries. So in particular, in recent years, internationalization has been increasingly part of this global neoliberal policy scape. And this educational discourse promoted by various intergovernmental institutions such as the OECD, the Theo World Bank, which define cultural skills as crucial for competitiveness in the new knowledge-based economy. So competitiveness both for nations and for individuals. And the problem with this framing is that it reframes the role of education exclusively in this instrumental and economistic terms. So maybe downsizing its more broader social and humanistic roles, right? Okay, so in fact we don't have one internationalization, we have many different narratives of internationalization and its aims and purposes. So as we saw today, many presentations mentioning the concept of global citizenship, and also there is another related concept, planetary citizenship, which are based mostly on humanistic values and are inclusive. On the other hand, we have discourses which see internationalization more as in instrumental terms, as gaining competitive advantage, or what Stephen Ball calls global education incorporated. So yes, there are these different global narratives, right? Okay, so according to Meringue and colleagues, so today we can find two main models of internationalization, right? So in the West, we see internationalization that is primarily geared towards the commodification of knowledge and the commercialization of the university enterprise. For example, by charging in the UK or in Australia, by charging higher fees to international students, right? Which is something which is not the case in Japan. While we have also the Asian model, which is, although informed by this liberal framework, it is cultural value driven. So, and we see this model both in Japan and China, where basically the focus is on promoting national language and culture through internationalization. Okay, let's focus now on Japan. So in the late 2000s, we have a change in internationalization discourse from Fukusaika, so internationalization to Global, so globalization of higher education. And a new push from the government to internationalize higher education in Japan. And this was both because external factors, so namely global ranking schemes, right, economic globalization and English as a language, and internal factors. It is the pressure from economic stagnation, aging society, and a shrinking population in Japan. And as is the case in the West, also in Japan, internationalization has been increasingly framed in the neoliberal framework. So, as a way to foster global genes to compete in the knowledge economy. And okay, so here, this is a nice table from Hiroshima. And here you can see that from 2008 and 2009, with the 300,000 international students flying and the G30 program, the focus was on inbound student mobility. So getting this foreign talent, global genes from outside Japan to Japan, right? Well, this change, this focus shifted from 2011 to 2012, as you see with Campus Asia and ASEAN, and the Go Global program on outbound student mobility. So getting the inward-looking Japanese youth outside of Japan, abroad, to be internationalized, right? And also more recently, we have the Top Global University project, which is started in 2014 and is also aimed towards promoting comprehensive internationalization of universities as a whole. Okay, so some issues with all this internationalization of higher education in Japan. Well, the official goal of the government is improving the quality of education from a global perspective, right? However, what we see is that universities are often use internationalization mostly as a tool to compete and prevail in the domestic market to acquire students. And also the policies themselves are linked to KPIs or key performance indicators. And these are basically target numbers that the universities must achieve in order to prove they are internationalized. And the problem is exactly that this is what universities have been doing, and not much more than this. So, in fact, there has been a focus, as we have already heard, lots of times today, I believe, on meeting these numerical targets, right, outputs, rather than actually reforming qualitatively the university environment as a whole or education. Okay, and also there has been resistance to change, and again, within the universities themselves. And we see this in the digitization or the creation of these global programs which are at the fringes of the university rather than touching its very core. And also this is an issue effectively of poor integration. This poor integration was also a problem during the implementation of IT technology in Japanese universities during the 1990s, a point on which I will elaborate further on. So okay, let's briefly make my methodology. So I'm using a case study design informed by social constructivism, purposeful sampling. So I'm talking with people who are knowledgeable about internationalization at their university, and semi-structured interviews also backed by document analysis and observation. So for now, I have two case study universities. I plan to have, I hope for, by the end of my PhD one day. And so here you see a total of 15 interviewees, both administrators and faculty members, so both Japanese and foreign. Okay, and of course these are subjects, right? Okay, so let's look briefly at these cases. So both universities are located in a major urban area within Japan, right? They are both second tier, so these are well-established institutions, but they are not elite institutions by any means. They are both private and comprehensive, and they are currently not beneficiaries of any major internationalization grants, although Takayama University has been a beneficiary of the Go Global project. Okay, and both these universities are adopting not comprehensive but ad hoc approaches to internationalization. This is also because they are lacking the funding for such comprehensive approach. But this is not the only problem, as you will see later. So, okay, so let's start with analyzing the motivations of these universities to pursue internationalization. And here I quote, "Internationalization for educational institutions in Japan is a sales pitch. Come to this university, come to this high school, come to this kindergarten, for goodness sake. Enjoying the line of people on the road to become a global talent. You've got to have the global talent. It's not international. A few years ago, you used to talk about Kokusai-ji, Kokusai concept. That Kokusai is gone now. We're talking global. What's the difference?" And following today, elementary, secondary, and high schools are saying Kokusai ka global ka. If the university does not do it, high school students will not apply. So as we can see here, one of the motivations is to project this image of a globalized university to outside stakeholders to attract the Japanese students because of the shrinking population of 18-year-olds in Japan, of course. And so going further, everyone at the moment is opening an international relations faculty. It's movement in groups. If they do it, we need to do it. And that's what we have. There is no any originality really encouraged. Why we're doing it, we don't know. This is what we're doing. The system is in place. That's what we're doing. Oh, why is the system there? Don't know. And Charles here is an internationalization officer within the international office of these universities. And so we can see that the universities here are not thought it through why they're doing it. So it seems that they are simply doing what everybody else seems to be doing. Okay. So going further, let's look more closely at Milan University. So at this university, we find lofty internationalization goals about creating an inclusive campus environment and so on. However, it seems that this strategy is mostly geared towards meeting numerical targets, and it is mainly raising the numbers of international students. And we could argue this is a case of performativity, where actually merely being seen to perform by meeting these target numbers becomes a substitute for the actual performance itself, that is being international, being inclusive, being global. Okay, here I quote, as an administrative unit within the university, there are only certain things you can achieve, so outputs becomes the focus. So, and why is this the case? So this is because of poor faculty buy-in and difficulty overcoming the power of the council of professors. That is the Kyoju Kai. And Milan University here actually is one of the oldest universities in Japan, and frequently such more traditional universities are very diffused in terms of decision making and very bottom up. And we see this problem here. The role of faculty is a huge issue. Their stance is something like internationalization has to do with the international department, right? Or the internationalization center, right? It has nothing to do with us. Okay. So now let's look at Wakayama University briefly. So here we don't have explicit internationalization goals, so even targets, numbers that the university wants to achieve. And in fact, this seems to be related to sort of an ambiguous attitude towards internationalization among the university leadership, with whom I wanted an interview, but they kindly refused. I haven't given up. Okay, as we see from this quote, I had so much frustration. I went to the vice president, who was from our department. I said, look, do you want to be an international university or a domestic university? Both is okay, both is good. Can we have a focus, please? And he said, no, I want to be in the middle. And actually, the fun part here is that Professor Roger, he was told by the university president when he got the job at the university, please internationalize this university. But he's being held back by the same people in this strange way, which I'm yet to understand, to be honest. So, although this university is more top-down, since it's a newer institution, here also we have instances of resistance from the faculty, as we see from the quote. So we have a core of 2 to 3 senior professors who are very reluctant to adopt these kind of approaches to internationalization. Well, reluctant actually is putting it softly, they're strongly resistant. And that would be passive resistance, not output resistance. It will just be the failure to adopt the measures put forward. So, and here the story of the International Relations faculty is interesting because it was newly established a few months ago, and the faculty there was told explicitly by the president to employ foreign faculty, since it's an international relations faculty, and to accept international students. However, this was disregarded. And today the international relations faculty has only one foreign faculty member, which is Josh here, and actually only a couple of international students. And that's it, and they not accept more. So also another problem is related to bureaucracy. And so we have these systemic issues which are also slowing down internationalization in the universities. And well, I have actually a lot of quotes on any of these issues. I'm sharing only what I thought to be the most interesting ones. And this quote in particular I think is revealing. We have a committee, and the committee has to approve everything. And the committee meets once every 6 months, with members changing. And most people are not really specialized in that area. And of course, you have representatives from each faculty who probably are there because they're not somewhere else. And they ask extremely naive questions because they don't have the background, because they only meet for 1 hour every 6 months. And after 2 years, so for hours, they go to the next committee. And for me, that's a great frustration because I have an idea, I take it in. Who do I tell? Oh, we'll wait for the next Inkai for this committee to explain. And I say to the Inkai and they go, and they all think about it. And then someone says something which really shows they don't understand what I'm talking about. And then, oh well, that maybe is difficult, so chutto compare which means basically we will think about it. Okay, so what to make of all of this? Well, again, it's really interesting to compare this situation with what happened during the implementation of IT technology during the 1990s. And I have to thank Professor Howard Brown for introducing me to Baknik's work on the subject. So we also had, during the IT revolution, a problem with universities prioritizing this bureaucratic protocol and bureaucratic procedures, such as the committees, above the educational goals themselves, right? And so we have this role of committees that in fact actually act as guardians of the status quo in the university, creating an impasse of sorts. And also we have a situation, as we saw in the previous quote, of people who have the necessary expertise who don't have the authority to make decisions, and people who have the authority who are not necessarily experts in the fields they are deciding about. Okay? And this leads to a situation not really ideal, where we have this short-term expedient solutions within the existing systems rather than any substantial changes of the systems themselves, right? And arguably, maybe even a lack of awareness of these hidden barriers within the university, which Gordino Passaron defined as the fact that basic social structures go unnoticed to members of a given social group. Okay, in fact, as with the IT revolution, here also there seems to be a lack of clear leadership commitment and support to internationalization. Weak responsiveness from part of the faculty on the ground level, also a lack of internationalization expertise institution-wide, and an organizational rigidity and structures that are basically geared towards the maintenance of the status quo rather than challenging it. And actually, an environment where there is no consensus on internationalization being a priority among the whole institution. So, and you see this from this quote, as long as there are Japanese students, we can continue to do business. So we don't need to internationalize to survive. So these are not universities suffering from paying by all those sorts of problems. So they're well-established institutions. So we could argue that this is a case of what Slogar Lerner calls immobilism in Japanese higher education. Okay, so going further, I would like to talk about how this university deal with diversity by looking at the institutional narratives related to diversity through the prism of ecology. So ecology examines the totality of relationships of an organism with all other organisms with which it comes into contact. And and looking at internationalization through this prism, through this metaphor, actually enables us to look at how internationalization can provide affordances for developing these complex and holistic relationships and synergies between students and faculty from different backgrounds. Okay, and what we see in universities is mostly a superficial celebration of diversity. Okay, so let's look at a few narratives about motivations for accepting international students. For the student that we teach, I think our international students are very valuable resource. As far as university environment is concerned, more diverse the better. That's how I feel. There's a little bit of resistance also between foreign students. So I've heard it said in meetings that foreign students are take up a cut, you know, so they're more bothersome than domestic students. Okay, and last one. That's closely related to image or marketing. Japanese students will probably feel better if they know the fact that this university has got many students from overseas because of this, you know, open kind of image. So that our student body, which is Japanese students, they feel more comfortable, they feel more welcome. So in addition to these different narratives about accepting international students in the university, there was one instance of exclusion related to the issue of Japanese identity, which I mentioned here. And it is not related to international students, but Kikoku Shito. This might be a generalization, but it does seem there is a little bit of prejudice towards Kikoku Shito. Not just in the language way, but in the, you know, because they're not Japanese anymore. So, okay, what to make of all of this? Well, we could argue basically that internationalization functions as a multivocal symbol within each of these universities. Multivocal symbol is a concept or a word that has different meanings according to different people at different moments. And this gives rise to different institutional narratives about internationalization, which range from it being a passive fad or a farce, internationalization as a tool to market the university. Internationalization is a way to prepare students to better compete in the global knowledge economy. Internationalization is a tool for improving the overall quality of education, and internationalization is a tool to promote inclusivity and genuine internationalism. So this is it for now, and my time is also done, so these are my references. 1, 4, and thank you very much. I'm open for questions. Yes, please.
I remember when they introduced top global, super global targets, they said those universities had to employ a certain number of international faculty.
Yes, yes.
And of course they haven't, all these years later. I wonder what you found out about that. Why that would have been a symbol of, again, a measurable symbol of internationalization.
Yes.
But it's haven't done it.
Well, it's according to this study, it is related to the sort of passive resistance among group of more senior faculty within the universities that held basically decision-making power, right? And here you might maybe relate this to the concept of what Professor Bergoli talks about teaching faculty, right? And it seems also that it's related to the fact that there are different concepts of what is a university. So it's not just different narratives about internationalization, different narratives about what is the purpose of a university, of the Daigaku Japanese society, right? And it seems also the senior professors, actually, a lot of them have never been at a Western university. So they have never, what they experience are actually often very good Daigaku, like Kyodai, but then again, Daigaku is different from a university. So there are these different ideas about what is the purpose of the university that seem to be clashing from my point of view.
But weren't they supposed to increase by a certain? I mean, how did they get around?
Yes, that's interesting.
No,
actually,
the money they got was supposed to be tied to that.
Yes, actually, these universities were not part of Super Bowl,
Oh,
so they didn't receive any money to internationalize. But then again, professors there at the International Relations Department were told explicitly by foreign faculty, and they didn't done. So I tried to find out whether there has been some discussion between the president and these senior professors, and I haven't discovered that
I
yet.
have one answer to that. A university I was teaching at, they had trouble getting faculty with certain qualifications that they wanted to perform. And so they got Japanese faculty who had gotten their PhD abroad Yeah, they said,
They counted.
Now,
they
a lot-
said, they said because there aren't enough qualified foreigners.
now a lot of policies said either foreign faculty or Japanese faculty that got some sort of degree abroad. Yeah, or.
No problem. Thank you. Any other questions?
So like from the point of Japanese students, like it was for me like it was really difficult to find a good like a global because maybe every time I hear the word global or international because a lot of universities advocate for that. So in order to find a really good quality global university, what should students look at? What kind of elements should students look at?
Yes, actually, I'm also trying to interview students themselves, and then this is also initial access, right? I would like to get views of both Japanese and international students and see what do they think about this issue. So I already have some interviews, but it's not enough material that I can present in a systematic way for now. Yes, but that's a really important point, definitely. So yes, thank you. Sorry, did it answer your question? Okay.
It's related to that, thank you very much for your presentation. Related to that, you talked a lot about, faculty and staff, but have there been any assessments of universities in terms of assessing the international students' experiences in those institutions? Have you found any information on those?
Yes, well, I am also doing interviews with international students once I can find them within the universities. So, and yes, well, actually, a lot of them seem to have quite positive views of their experience there. So, and of course, it's very different with students from different backgrounds, right? So, students with they come maybe from Vietnam or China or Korea, so share very different experiences than students, for example, short-term exchange students that come from Western countries. So, there is different both motivations for studying abroad and different ideas of what it means for them. So for example, in Minami University, I interviewed a student who took part. He is from Vietnam, and he took part in one of these global initiatives from the university to connect international students with the local community. And he felt this to be a very constructive experience, right? And that he acquired a more global outlook and get to know the Japanese society is living better. So there are definitely other positive and all kinds of different narratives from that point of view.
Just to confirm one thing, that Takayama University and Minami University were fictitious.
You mean the names or
Yeah, the names.
Yes, the names are fictitious.
Names are fictitious.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But the quotations from the employees and
Yes.
faculty and stuff, they were genuine.
They were not fictitious.
We all laughed because they were such ideal stereotypes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Good, so they were not fictitious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you go back to references page 3, please? I'm
Yes.
curious to see which author chapter.
Yes, so
Yeah, that was.
yeah, that's it. I think actually it's freely available on internet.
It is, yeah. I read that one, so I'm like,
Yeah, I was wondering as well. Yeah, so I just wanted to make a comment to say, I thought it was amazing that you got the faculty to open up to you like that. I think that's really incredible because it's such a huge barrier, and even if you work at the university, it's hard to get concrete answers. That you were able to get such honesty out of faculty and staff. I thought that's really.
Well, that's why I have only 2 case studies for now and only 15 interviewees.
Yeah.
So it took so much negotiation and waiting and being refused and just thinking, okay, I have to let go of this university and find another one, and so yes, so it took a lot of time.
Access.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah. Thank you.
faculty here using their first names, but they were English names? So were they all foreign faculty?
Yes, so the faculty with the English names are foreign, and also the Japanese names are Japanese, although the names themselves are specific names. So, yeah, those are fictitious names. Yeah. Okay, any other questions or comments?
We have a couple of minutes. If there's questions for any of the earlier presenters, we could revisit those presentations as well.
It's not exactly a question, but it's a connection I noticed between the first presentation and the third. As you tie your work into Patrick's earlier work about the IT revolution, I really remember reading Patrick's book, and a lot of the qualities of global Jinzai that you mentioned as being specific to Japan, those are the same qualities that were qualities of IT leaders that Mexico was looking for back in the 1990s. And I'm pretty sure back in the 1980s it was a different label, but they were looking for the same qualities of people, as you say.
No, I think it is, and a lot of this idea of global Jinzai is really connected to the specialized knowledge and to, engineering and STEM subjects that can, be connected to abroad and they can work abroad, and not so much the liberal arts, but it's really specialized knowledge that's being emphasized in many ways.
Also, maybe another catchphrase. It seems this one started, and it kind of moved into what we're talking about now, the 21st century skills, and they're kind of all under the same umbrella, going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, but they shouldn't have 22nd century skills eventually.
I just wonder how many Japanese faculty are at this conference?
Yes, not many, unfortunately.
What does that say?
What is that?
What does it say? Conference on Global Education.
Yeah.
In the meaning of English.
And trying to get to the universities as much as possible, both views. So, yes.
Well, it goes both ways. I mean, last week before last, I was at the Monkasho Run conference on missions. There were 300 people there, and I was the only person who didn't look Japanese. So
The groups are very separate.
in parallel, it's a great
Here are all the international faculty coming to discuss at this conference, and then all of the Japanese.
It's the same in English teaching. Jolt is all
It is.
English speakers and Jason
It
is all
says
Japanese.
Japan
Two separate
Association of
organizations.
Language Teaching, but it's really,
Two different organizations.
it is.
So with those comments in mind, the quote you gave from the frustrated faculty member who couldn't get his proposal through the committee that only met once every 6 months.
Yes.
I'm sure things like lack of leadership and passive resistance are in there, but does that person have an understanding as well that he needs to go around to each faculty member before the meeting and present his proposal? And, that's how you get, smooth
Yes.
results in the meeting. And so then is there
Everything has to be decided before the meeting.
So is
Yeah,
there a lack
yes.
of cultural
Well, these are-
understanding on the part of the foreign faculty who are representing? So is it a class of culture rather than?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and I don't have the answer, unfortunately. So yes, but it's a very, very valid and good point. Yeah, I definitely don't want to paint the picture that here the foreigners are the good ones and the Japanese are, are not internationalizing. So just to show these different views, different perspectives of what is happening, rather than any from more of a social constructivist perspective, rather than saying this is what is happening. So just showing this different, the complexity of the narratives and experiences within these different institutions.
Also, like you were saying, this idea of internationalizing is different between people. And internationalizing for some might mean show that you are internationalizing, whereas the foreign faculty might feel more like we are not actually internationalizing. So these are two different views of internationalization
Yes.
that are conflicting, and they don't really necessarily work together.
That's why I think it's a multivocal symbol, right?
Yeah.
In the university, so it means different things for different people. So
Global
that's-
desire, I mean.
Yes, exactly, the same way. So yeah.
But there's also reluctant participation too. Sometimes Japanese faculty are assigned a role to that committee based on seniority, but they have absolutely, they'll admit no expertise and no interest, and you know, and therefore actually no competence either in their
Just
Good
it's
thing I
an
didn't
issue.
think twice, yes.
Well, actually, we're out of time here. There's one more event before the reception. So if we could depart from here and then go downstairs for